What is going on, traders? We got a few things to discuss before we get into that. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So today was pretty interesting. It kind of played out how I thought it would until like the very last few minutes, where we just had this huge drop across the market. I was kind of expecting this drop to happen, where bulls get trapped at around 507 on the SPY. We'll get into that in a bit, but I thought bulls will get trapped, and then tomorrow, maybe whatever news we have tomorrow, unemployment claims, and then maybe Apple earnings after hours, and then bulls get trapped. That's what I thought was going to happen, but apparently bears had different plans. So if we're looking at the Nasdaq, we failed to hold above 17,800. We actually failed to even break above 17,800. I told you guys my key level is 17,830, and we just could not get there. We just could not. Bears stepped back in and immediately brought us back down. Not only did they break us back below this daily supply and demand zone, but they broke us back below this bear flag, which I've had drawn since the past two videos. So not only that, but in the Discord, I was pretty much letting everyone know that there are head and shoulders patterns or potential head and shoulders patterns forming across the market. I mean, they're everywhere. So it looks like this is trying to play out, and I think we're going to see more downside heading into tomorrow. Now, I know a lot of bulls are optimistic heading into tomorrow. I don't know. I guess they think, what is this? Unemployment claims is going to save the day. I don't think unemployment claims is going to come in and do one of these moves where it just comes in, I don't know, hot, good, whatever, and then it just I I don't see that happening. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I don't see that happening. I think if anything could save the market, it would be Apple earnings. And I mean, not just Apple beat, but like Apple surprising everyone. Like it has to surprise everyone. That's the only thing I think that can just get rid of this whole move on the Nasdaq. Okay. But as far as key levels, 17,830, you want to break back above that to be bullish again, and then we could potentially head towards 18,000, 18,080, 18,100. So be on the lookout for those levels as far as the upside. As far as downside, I think we're going to see one of these moves at least tomorrow. I think unemployment claims is not going to save the day. I could be wrong on that. I think we're going to see one of these moves where we head down to these guys over here. We head towards 17,300, 17,280, give or take, and then we could potentially somewhere near the close of day tomorrow. Maybe in the morning we see a drop, and then maybe in the towards close we start recovering, and then we get one of these moves, maybe because of Friday news or Apple earnings, whatever the case may be. But in order for us to break below these guys, we need news. In order for the Nasdaq to break below this area right here, because I tell you guys all the time, um, wicks tell you where bulls and bears are. And there's a lot of, bulls in this area. In order for us to break below these guys, we need news. And the only thing I can really think of that can cause such a breakdown, like for us to just completely destroy these guys, is Apple earnings, like a failed Apple earnings. And I don't think anyone's expecting Apple earnings to come in good or anything. I think everyone's expecting earnings to be bad, but Apple has to like be surprisingly bad. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm not saying Apple is going to have bad earnings. I mean, it could absolutely pull a Tesla on us and Uno reverse everybody and just head to the moon, and then the market saved again, or somewhat saved, at least short term. But for now, I think for us to break below these guys, we need some type of news regardless. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at as far as NQ. ES. So in the Discord, I was pretty much letting everyone know that 5080 is a key level here. We failed to hold it at close. Granted, ES is still, moving, but we failed to hold this thing at close. I think we're just going to head further down. Um, as far as again, head and shoulders, I mean, you see it across the market. Now, I'm not a fan of this type of head and shoulders. I mean, I rarely see this happening where there's the right shoulder is a wick. So I'm not going to act like, I know how this is going to play out for sure. But I mean, it looks like a head and shoulders. This is just a very, very, very skinny shoulder. So, as far as the key level to the upside, 5126, 5127, give or take, you want to break above this guy right here for us to see any more upside. After that, you're looking at a move towards 5150, 5146, give or take, and then you can go as high as about 5180 or 5200. For me to be really bullish on the market again, like for me to be like, okay, we're probably going to head to the moon, all time highs, rally, um, grab your capes. We're flying. We will have to break this trend on the inverse cup and handle. Okay. I showed you guys this a few videos ago. There's an inverse cup and handle here. For me to be really bullish, we would need to do one of these moves. And for me to be like, All right, we for me to get rid of my bearish targets, we need to get above 5250. I think that's where all the bears are, and I think they will panic if we get above 5250, which is around these guys here. We start breaking this turbulence up in this area, then yeah, we're probably mooning. But for now, I have to remain bearish short term. I still think we're going to see more downside. My target is still 4,800. We can probably go as low as 4,700 on the ES, but as far as for now, at least this week, 5040 is the key level you want to pay attention to. We break below 5040. I would say 5038 if you really want to be safe. We could be heading towards these guys down here at around 5,006. We break below 5,006. We'll say 5,000 to be safe because that's our psych level. Again, we need news to break below these guys. Okay, we need some news to break below these guys. Whatever that news is, it's below 4960. Okay, in order for us to get below 4960, we need some type of news. So whatever, I don't know what news can cause that, but I'm assuming Apple earnings has the power to do that. So we'll see. Bitcoin. I mean, I've been saying for a while I'm bearish on Bitcoin short term. Okay. Everyone thought, oh, because it didn't drop on the halving, that it was just going to the moon because it just didn't drop on the exact day that everyone was expecting it to drop, so we can all be millionaires in one day. Yeah, institutions don't work like that. Okay, they're not dumb. Okay, they're not gonna want all of us to be millionaires in one night. So, Bitcoin, my next target is 54K. We took a trade on it in the Discord. We got in a sell signal at around 57,300. And then we took profit at around 50. I don't even remember. I gotta check my Mexi, but we took profit at around 56, 800, somewhere around 56, 800. Um, Feel free to comment or fact check me on that, but we did definitely take profit on it. So yeah, 54K. That's what I'm looking at as far as Bitcoin. It can go as low as 52K. I wouldn't even be surprised it goes lower than that. But I think that would be based on the market and how things are. Coinbase earnings is coming up, so maybe that could have an effect on Bitcoin and how it moves. I don't know. I never checked the correlation between the two as far as earnings go, so we'll see. But 54K is what I'm looking at. For me to be slightly bullish on Bitcoin again, we need to see a move above 65K. Until then, this thing is I just think it's going to continue to drop. I've been saying this like almost every video or every other video that I'm bearish on this thing short term. Long term, definitely bullish. So yeah, be on the lookout for my bullish videos. When I start getting bullish on Bitcoin again, be ready. All right, just be ready. All right. Um, Spy. Spy, essentially the ES. I mean, it's pretty much showing the same exact thing. We went all the way. Everyone in the Discord was pretty much saying, 507 is a key level, and I agree 100% with that. And I was thinking we were going to see that like between today and tomorrow, and then we start rejecting from there. So congratulations if you did call that out. A few of us did call that out, so that's awesome. Again, another potential head and shoulders pattern here. And then we hit 507, 508, give or take. We rejected this 4 hour supply and demand zone. We broke back below this. We're not below the daily supply and demand zone, but if we break below 500, I would say 499, give or take, we're heading towards 497, and we can head as low as 495. My lowest target is 491. Okay, 491. But for now, we're going to focus on 497, or I'm going to focus on 497 and 491 until I get a little bit more confirmation that we can head to 491. Okay, so be on the lookout for that as far as the SPY. As far as upside goes, I want to see us break above 510 for me to be somewhat bullish again. After 510, you're looking at 511.5, and then you can go as high as about 515. Okay, but for now, I mean, if this rejection doesn't tell you that this is bearish, I don't know what will. I think tomorrow we're going to see more downside. How much downside? 497, 495. Maybe we go to 490. Okay, that is on the table. So keep an eye out on that. And again, like I showed you guys that inverted cup and handle. I mean, it's everywhere. It's on the SPY, it's on the Qs, it's on the NQ, it's on the ES. I mean, they're all the same basically. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty much. It looks like it wants to play out. So yeah, triple. Where did triple Qs go? Triple Qs. So yeah, as you guys can see, I marked this out for the Discord, and it looks like it played out kind of the same way. I mean, I wasn't expecting us to just get such a huge jump and then give it all away in one day. I kind of thought we would give it away tomorrow, but it is what it is. A win is a win, right? So Triple Qs, I told you guys in the last video, if we can get above 430 and actually close above 430, then that 436 target that I've been talking about was back on the table. But it's still off the table. We failed to close above 430. Um, and yeah, it looks like we're heading down. Okay, so my next target is 418. After 418, it's really hard for me to see us just break below these guys like tomorrow. So I'm going to say like we need again, we just need a news catalyst to break below these guys. And it is possible. Maybe we get news during the day, like more news during the day. But I don't think unemployment claims is going to be enough for this break to happen. Where we break below 413 and just head towards 409 and all that. I just that would be crazy. But I mean, I would love that, but that would be pretty crazy that unemployment claims cause that. I would imagine they have to come in really, really bad. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at as far as the triple Qs. Again, above 430, I'm slightly bullish, and I will see a move towards 433 and then 436. Those are the key levels I'm looking at. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the triple Qs. I really don't have much for it. Triple Qs just has a lot of turbulence. That's why I really don't like plotting it or even trading it because it just has a lot going on. Um, I mean, there's just so much it has to get through to just make moves. So yeah, and I went over triple Qs, IWM. So we took a trade on IWM in the Discord. Let me check. Yeah, so we did 194 puts for May 10th, take profit at 40% or a target of 188. We got in at around 195. I want to say 195. We got it in around 195. Um, kind of jumped the gun. I'm not gonna lie. I did kind of jump the gun, even though I was like kind of expecting the SPY to go to 507. So did kind of jump the gun early. But I do trust my strategy. I know people question like why I trade during news and things like that. My strategy is I believe in my strategy enough that it can trade through news. Majority of the time, it doesn't fail me. Does news kind of mess up my entries? Sure, but in the long run, again, being a swing trader, I most of the time end up winning. So if you want to check it out, join the Discord. Discord link is in the description below. But IWM, I have a target of one. I can go as low as 185, to be honest with you guys. But as you guys can see, we broke below this wedge. We went all the way to 200. We rejected 200, and then we fell further down. And again, I mean, I guess this is another head and shoulders potential head and shoulders pattern here. This could be a double top right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. But I mean, yeah, I think IWM is cooked. Okay, I think it's going to be cooked. I think it's going to head further down at least the rest of this week, maybe next week. We'll see. But my target on IWM still remains the same, 185. And I really don't trade the IWM. For me to be bullish on IWM, I want to see a break above 202 and that's about it. It's broken below this daily supply and demand zone at around 198, 197.8, give or take. So yeah, I expect more downside heading into tomorrow, where we start creating a lower low. Okay, so next target I'm looking at right now, not I wouldn't say tomorrow, but maybe between tomorrow and Friday is around 190, 191 range. So we'll see. Okay, so that is a trade that we are in. Tesla, yeah, I was talking about Tesla all day in Discord, and yeah, I was pretty much saying that. I mean, it's rejecting a 4 hour supply and demand zone. Not only that, but it's inside this daily supply and demand zone. If Tesla gets a below if Tesla gets below 177, 176.5, give or take, then chances are it's just going to start filling this gap all the way down to 170. Well, actually, I'm wrong. Sorry. 174. It gets below 174, then we're heading towards 170. The supply and demand zone is at 177, 176.5. So, yeah. If it breaks below that, then yeah, I think Tesla's just going to head further down and start looking to fill this gap at 170. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, I know people are going to hate this, but looking at the weekly, if Tesla if Tesla forms this lower low on the weekly, I mean the lower high on the weekly, like it ends the week below these guys, Tesla can head all the way down here to where these guys are. I'm just saying. I mean look at it. Look, all right. So look at it here. Boom. We broke below these guys. We broke below these guys already. We are creating a lower high. Well, we've created multiple lower highs on the weekly time frame. Okay, we broke below these guys. We slightly recovered. If we end the week below these guys, I think Tesla is going to start heading towards the low 100s. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds impossible, but look, do the math. One plus one equals two, folks. I mean, and all the bad news Tesla keeps getting. I mean, it gets good news here and there. I believe it got like a lawsuit. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, I think Tesla is going to see more downside. I think my target, if I had to pick a target, I would say 130 is on the table, but it can head towards these guys. And if it heads towards, I mean, because look at this. We get back below 150 on Tesla, we're cooked. Simple as that. We're cooked. So yeah, I would be on the lookout for that. Okay. It mostly depends on the market as well, so we'll see. But if the ES is going to 4,700, I don't see how this target will be an issue. Okay, I just don't, or at least 130 will be an issue. Apple. So Apple has earnings coming up. I'm looking at the weekly. Well, actually, I mean, we can actually look at that. But as you guys can see, Apple has earnings coming up. As you guys can see, we got this rising wedge pattern. If Apple just starts breaking below 160, then yeah, this thing is probably going to head towards one as low as 140. That is on the table. My price target on Apple is 155. If earnings just so happen to like surprise everybody and just like Apple just goes to the moon or whatever the case may be, then I will take that target off the table. But for now, my price target still remains the same. I think Apple is going to head towards 155. That is my one of my targets. Um, your key levels is, I mean, obviously 170. I would say 169 to be safe. It's been really fighting all day to just hold 170, and it's kind of been bouncing back and forth between 169 and 170. So I will be on the lookout for that level. But right now, we're kind of in no man's land. Next key level, if we break below 169, is around 167, and then you're looking at a move towards 165. All right, so be on the lookout for that as far as Apple. For me to be like really, I mean, I wouldn't say really, but somewhat bullish on Apple again, we need to get back above one. I would say 180. I would say 180 right here. If Apple can get back above 180, I mean, not only would that be good for the market, but it'll just be good for Apple, obviously. So yeah, we can get back above 180, and we'll chances are we're going to start heading towards 190s. All right, so just be on the lookout for that on Apple. Maybe it does it on earnings, maybe it does it after earnings. We don't know, but we'll see. And what other trades are we in? We are in Netflix, IWM, and NVDA. We'll go over NVIDIA first. So yeah, Nvidia. I think this thing is cooked as well. I don't know if I shared this chart in the Discord, but my ideal move was this, where we see one of these moves on Nvidia, and it actually played out pretty well. When we had this huge, let me zoom in for you guys. All right, so here we go. So we were in this wedge on Nvidia, and we kind of rolled over. So remember, I told you guys when a stock rolls over on a pattern, there's a good chance that it's going to fall under that pattern. Okay. And it's the same vice versa. So what I mean by that is like for example right here, we're rolling over. Okay. And as you guys can see, bears are very strong. I mean, look at these wicks pushing Nvidia down, trying their hardest to push Nvidia down. I think Nvidia is going to start heading towards 800 tomorrow, and then after that we'll see. There is a potential bounce scenario here, but the bounce already came. The scenario that I thought of or was thinking of, where we do one of these moves, and then this move here, where we retest 840. It's in the Discord. I put a chart up on the Discord saying that could happen, and yeah, it looks like it's playing out. So it looks like a potential. Let's get rid of this. A potential head and shoulders as well here. I mean, you got your shoulder here, your head here, another shoulder here, and then this trend line will be your neck. Okay, so we break below 800s on Nvidia. This thing is cooked. Okay, this thing is cooked, and I still have a price target of 680. We'll say 720 as our 723 as our first target, and then I'm looking at a move all the way towards 680 for NVIDIA. Okay, I don't think. I mean, based on what we're seeing for semiconductors, we saw with SMCI, we saw with AMD, we saw. I think NVIDIA is going to start catching up with them guys. The way they dropped, I think NVIDIA is eventually is going to start catching up with them, and we break below 800. We break this neckline right here. This thing is going to drop. So we are in 750 puts for May 10th. We got in at around 835, 836 range on Nvidia. So yeah, I expect more downside on Nvidia. It's 826 after hours. So yeah, congratulations if you took that play. Again, Discord link is in the description below. Um, Netflix. So Netflix has been playing games. This thing's annoying. We got in at around 554, 553, give or take. 540 puts for May 10th. Um, but I like Netflix. It's just taking its time and it's playing games. If Netflix cannot hold 550, 549 to be safe, right now it's going to drop and it's going to head towards 530. First target is 542, and then I'm looking at 530 as an overall target. That's what I'm looking at as far as Netflix. But we keep trying to get back into this daily supply and demand zone, and we have rejected it consistently over and over. So if this isn't a sign of Netflix being bearish and trying to see more downside, I don't know what is. I don't know what it would take for this to actually like really drop because it's really taking its time. My assumption is that it's waiting on news and then it'll start dropping. But as you guys can see, Bulls keep trying. They kept trying, and they're getting weaker, a lot weaker. Right here, remember, wicks tell you where buyers and sellers are. But right here, they stepped in. Bulls stepped in. They tried to push Netflix back above this daily supply and demand zone. Bears stepped in and said no. They tried again with a weaker move. Bears stepped in, said no. Another weaker move, and Bears stepped in and said no again. That's three times that the Bulls tried to just get us to the upside on Netflix. I think Netflix is done. I think it's going to head towards 500. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, I think Netflix is done. So your first target is 50. I mean, and look at this. If Netflix breaks below 540, we are illiquid. I mean, it's going to be a smooth ride down to 500. Pause. I mean, look at this. There's nothing stopping us from here. We break below 540 on Netflix. There's nothing here to stop us. We're just going to drop. We're going to plummet. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at on Netflix. Congratulations if you're in that play as well. Well, I won't say congratulations. We ain't win yet, but we should be somewhat in profit or heading towards profit. We'll see tomorrow. And I believe, oh, SQQ. Okay, so SQQ, I have a price target of about 13, 12.7, somewhere around that range. So I think this is going to start playing out tomorrow. The Discord bot actually alerted a play on the SQQs as well. Yeah, so 11 strike, May 3rd, um, 300K premium. And yeah, the AI has about 68% confidence on this play. So yeah, that can pretty much benefit us on my bearish thoughts heading into tomorrow. But yeah, as you guys can see, I mean, we're above this trend line. I should have had, I don't know where my supply and demand zones went, but yeah, I think SQQs is going to start heading towards that $13 level. If anything, I actually want to do a trade on this, but we were already in like three trades. And I just didn't want to oversaturate everybody in the Discord. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, and maybe we'll jump into something on the SQs. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully, you guys got something out this video. I think I went over everything pretty thoroughly, but we'll see tomorrow. Again, I think tomorrow we're going to see more downside. I could be wrong. We'll see. And yeah, if you liked the video, if you felt like you learned something, or if you have questions, or if you agree or disagree with anything I say, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. It really, really helps. You guys have been really supportive lately, besides, the negative comments here and there. And that's fine. Everyone's free to have their own opinion. But I appreciate you guys. And until the next video, traders, have a good one.